Okay, we are live. It is time for the virtual assistant Jumpstart day 4, and I am so excited that you guys are here. We're going to be talking about your virtual assistant business and how you can get it started in 2022. I'm excited. Those of you who have shown up every single day, you have been consistent, you've been here, you've been interacting, and it's been such a cool process to watch your confidence grow, for you guys to be carving out your whys. It's been so great. What has been your favorite part of the challenge, Melanie, so far?
Honestly, my favorite part of the challenge is just seeing all of these stories and all of these whys, and you guys just really show up and share your why you're here. It's so cool. That is my favorite part.
I know, it's been really great. So here's what we're going to do. Today I am in a new location. If you don't realize, we're actually filming some YouTube videos today. So I'm in my little filming studio, which is hilarious. I was showing Melanie, it's like so perfect right here. And then the rest of the room is literally like still construction zone, kind of a disaster. But hey, action over perfection. And that's what we're all about here at the Virtual Savvy. So we're going to jump into day 4. I know you guys are excited. I know you're ready for this content. So I'm not going to make you wait any longer for it. As we've been doing with each one of these live streams, Melanie and our team is going to be kind of in the background answering your questions in chat. So feel free, ask questions throughout this entire thing. We're here to support you guys. And so it's going to be great. We will do a live Q&A at the very end. So if you want to stay tuned till the very end, then you can get your questions answered live by me. Okay, let's do this. Let me know what your favorite part, if you have been here for all 4 days, number 1, let us know that, because I think that's huge. Those of you guys who have shown up every single day. And then what have you gotten the most out of this challenge so far? I would love to hear. All right, so Melanie, I'm going to take you down. We'll pull you back up at the very beginning. Everyone say bye, Melanie. And we're going to pull up the slides. So today, as I mentioned, is our virtual assistant day 4 of the challenge. And it sounds like you guys have been getting so much information from this already. Discovering your why, time blocking is exactly what I needed. Yesterday was my favorite. So good. So thank you guys for showing up each and every day. Now, this is going to be a really, really good training, because in today's training, we're going to be talking about the worst mistakes that you could be making in your business. I don't know about you, but I love to see the pitfalls ahead of time. I want to know the ways that I could potentially stumble, so that I am aware of them and I'm able to plan for them ahead of time, right? And one of the best things that you can do is to follow, whether it's, people you're following on Instagram, whether it's the podcast you're listening to, whether it's the people that you're surrounding yourself with, people who have been there, done that in the things you want to do. If I want to start painting, I'm going to follow a bunch of people who are teaching beginning painting on Instagram or whatever. Like, I'm going to consume myself with people who have been there, done that. And one of the great things about that is whenever you start listening to people who have been there, done that, which is what we here do at the Virtual Savvy, you can start to hear, oh, here are their experiences. So hopefully I don't make some of the same mistakes that they did or that they've seen people make. So that's really what we're going to be jumping into today. The worst business mistakes you could be making. I always like to do a quick little intro. If for some reason this is the first time you've seen me or heard me, I'm Abby Ashley. I'm the founder of the Virtual Savvy. And yes, that is me in the picture jumping off of a roof. I'll just jump to that story real quick so we're not all wondering what that is. In 2009, I moved to Northern Virginia from Florida. Everyone told me, oh, the winters here are not that bad. Very, very mild winter. 2000, like January or February 2010, so my first real winter there, we had snow up to our hip. They called it Snowmageddon. And we were literally stuck in our house for days and days and days on end. And I got so cooped up, just felt like I needed to get out, that I had this brilliant idea that I was going to build a big snow pile and jump off of my roof into it. Well, it's not like the movies, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, snow is basically just water. I went right through the snow pile, thought I broke my ankle, didn't. It was not smart. So, when we're talking about taking the leap, sometimes there are dangerous things when we take the leap that we should be aware of. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. In addition, I have a family that I absolutely love, 2 kiddos, ages 6 and 8, a super supportive husband. And I'm an amateur beatboxer, emphasis on the amateur. So hopefully you guys find that fun whenever we're doing our YouTube videos and our fun little beatboxing challenges that we do. All right, here we go, guys. Here's the plan for today. We're going to talk about the worst business mistakes that you can make in 2022. We'll do that live Q&A. And then at the very end, we're going to do our Be Bold challenge. It's just a fun way for Melanie and I to be bold, to have some confidence, and really for my team to embarrass me in some kind of truth or dare game. So that will be awesome. All right. So let me know on day 1, we said, who is deciding that 2022 is your year? And most of you said, yes, me. If you agree that this is your power year, write the words power year in the comments. Because if this is going to be your power year, this is going to be the year that you really, really put everything into making your at-home business happen. Let me tell you, it's going to be so much easier if you know what lies ahead. Okay. So let me go ahead and peel back the curtain and show you a glimpse at what it means and what's going to happen and what some of the potential pitfalls could be this year so that you are aware and ready for them. So I'm going to be covering the 4 biggest mistakes that you could be making in your business. Now, the first 2 are going to sound a little bit like repeats because it's that much that I want to emphasize. So we'll go through the first 2 quickly. The number 1 mistake that you could be making this year is that you try to find time instead of making time. And yes, we talked all about time yesterday, so I'm not going to go into the whole spiel. If you missed yesterday's training, you can still go back and access it. You can go to thevirtualsavvy.com/jumpstart. Here's the link to it right there. And you can actually get, a replay sent to you of the videos that we've done so far. But yesterday we talked about how to prioritize your tasks and how to begin time blocking. And I'm telling you, if this is something that you do and you decide, I'm not just going to try to do this business in my spare time, but I'm going to set aside devoted time to growing my business, you will see success. Now, here's the thing. We want this to be devoted time and not distracted time. Does anybody remember the difference between devoted and distracted time, right? Devoted time is where you are here and you are all here. You're really able to focus on the task at hand. It's that deep work time, right? And I would recommend having at least 5 hours a week at the bare minimum. I think closer to 10 at the minimum is even better. But 5 to 10 hours a week of devoted, not distracted time. So distracted time is your kids hanging on you, asking for juice. Devoted time is you sitting down, being able to get deep work done. Okay. So carving out that time, how are you going to make it happen? If any of you guys took some major strides yesterday in your schedule, in your time blocking, let me know in the comments. Share. Let's let this be a community and let other people know what steps you took. So maybe they can be encouraged to take them themselves, right? We talked about time blocking. I shared behind my calendar. So this is going to be the year. If this is going to be your power year, it is a year that you don't find time, you make time for the things that are important. Yes? Got it? All right, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, the biggest mistake that you could be making is that you don't find accountability. Again, I told you these first 2 were kind of repeats from yesterday, but that's because we want to emphasize them so much. You have to have somebody who is in your corner rooting for you, okay? And if you can have somebody who's also going to tell you the hard truth, even better. And so this could be accountability that you find inside of a Facebook group, a local networking group. This could be a friend or a spouse or a parent or whoever. Who do you have in your corner that can help hold you accountable? If you say, I am going to decide on my business name on Friday, who's the person you're going to tell that to? Okay. And so we talked about how that's something, we're launching the Savvy system tomorrow, guys. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Tomorrow is the day. We only open our course every 6 months. And one of the things that we build into our course is community. And you can see this. You guys already met Melanie. She is the manager of this group. She is the one that is going in, giving advice, helping hold you guys accountable. But one of the things that we do is we also help you find accountability partners or groups because we know the importance of it. So whether it's a group, whether it's a networking group, a person, find that accountability and be proactive in it. I feel like that's really important too. Sometimes, let me go back here. Sometimes we think accountability is that person that's going to pound on your door and force you to do things. Okay. And I have found in my life that that's not necessarily the way accountability works. I like to use the term aggressive accountability, proactive accountability. So proactive accountability means that there is responsibility on your end as well. So one of the best things you can do is set up regular times to meet, right? Because it's like, oh, well, my accountability partner hasn't texted me in the last 3 weeks. Okay, then text your accountability partner, right? There has to be a proactive approach to it. You can't just wait for someone to knock down your door. And if you guys are doing that for one another, then it makes it that much easier for if you're asking that person, hey, how are you doing? They're going to ask in return, now, how are you doing? Right. And so there does need to be some proactiveness in your accountability, right? So people who don't find accountability, that is one of the major ways that we have seen people not find success, right? Those are the people that fall behind. I do want to remind you guys, Savvy System, you can go to thesavvysystem.com. If you're looking for that accountability in your life, you're looking for a step-by-step program to launch your business this year, make sure that you have joined the waitlist. We open the doors tomorrow. So excited. All right. So number 3, we're flying through these today because I really want to make sure we have enough time to answer your questions. We've been going through the questions so quickly. And so I want to make sure we have time today to answer questions that you guys have. So number 3, the mistakes that I see people make, and honestly, this is why some people fail at their business, is that they try to figure it all out on their own. Okay, guys, the reality is there are tons of free resources online on how to start a business. And I love utilizing free resources, and I'm not knocking. We give out free resources. You can go to our YouTube channel, right? And watch video after video of video of starting your own business. But here's the problem. Whenever you are grasping from all these different sources, all of those sources could have a way that's right, but they're all focusing on what they think is most important, right? So if I'm watching Abby's YouTube videos and also these 10 other people and reading these blogs and doing these things, I might say, hey, marketing, it's the most important. Somebody else may say systems. Those are the most important, right? Somebody else might say there's not a way to grow your business unless you're doing Instagram Reels, right? Don't listen to that person. But this is the most important thing you must be doing right now. The problem is whenever you have so many competing voices in your head is that it's really easy. And maybe some of you guys have felt this over the past couple months or the past year. It's easy to be like, oh yes, well, I guess I have to start a podcast. Oh, well, I guess I need to do a YouTube channel. Oh, well, I guess I need to be on Instagram, right? And you kind of start getting just so distracted and pulled in so many different ways that it's hard to stay focused on the task at hand. So when you're trying to figure it out on your own, one of the things that you can do is take all your focus, all your energy, and just say, hey, what is the very next thing I have to do, right? And so rather than trying to just here and there, figure this out, just kind of mash a bunch of strategies together, let me have a linear step-by-step strategy and say, what's the very next thing I need to do? Okay, what's the very next thing after that? What's the next thing after that, right? So the pitfalls that I see people find is when they're trying to go at it alone and they're going 100 different directions. There's a book called Essentialism that is so good. And it talks about this effect when we take our energy that's going in 100 different ways and all all the energy that's getting expelled when you do that, and you actually pull that energy into one solid focus, how you can make such a bigger impact when you do that. So Essentialism, it's a really, really good book. I truly believe that following a map is the fastest way to your destination. It's the reason why we have an online course. It's the reason why I encourage online courses, why I buy online courses. Anytime I want to learn something new, right? If I want to start investing in real estate, if I want to learn how to cook better, right? Any skill that I want to do, pretty much I'm like such an online course believer. Why? Why do I believe in online courses so much? Do I still watch tons of YouTube videos? Yes. Do I still listen to podcasts? Yes, I still do all those things. However, I love that step-by-step approach. And so if somebody creates an online course and it's like, here's where I am, here's where I want to go, and here's the direct map of how I'm going to get there, it's just so much easier. So you wouldn't start a journey without a map. Make sure you have a map, guys. I can't emphasize this enough. It's one of the biggest mistakes you could make. I'm not even saying my map needs to be the map, right? There's tons of different maps out there. There's tons of different ways to get from Missouri to Florida, right? And so you may want to try a more scenic route. You might want to just take the fast route. You might want to XYZ. You might like this style of map. You might like this style of map. I'm not even saying my style of map's the best one. Just get a map. Make sure you have a step-by-step direction of how you're going to get from point A to point B. Okay. Yes. Say, I'll get a map. I'll get a map in the comments. Okay. It can be our Savvy system. It can be something else. Just please follow a map and actually follow it, right? That's another mistake that we see people make, which I didn't even put on here, is that like some of us, well, I guess it is part of figuring it out on your own. Some of us will get the map. You're like, yep, Abby, I bought the course. And then I still went off and did my own thing. And it's like, no, like do the thing. If you are going to put money into something, if you're going to put your time, energy, and effort into something, try it. Try to do it the way that somebody tells you, hey, boom, boom, boom. Here is a really linear way to get from point A to point B. I'm not saying you can't put your own spin on things, right? Like, please use your personality, use your uniqueness. There's something really, really powerful about following the steps of a map of somebody who's been there before you. Okay. Yes. So good. And then lastly is that people, and this is probably one of the biggest ones that we see, and I hate it. It's that they let fear outweigh their motivation. I literally was talking to a friend just the other day who started her VA business, and she started learning about the different tech that you could use in your business. And immediately she got overwhelmed and she said, I don't think I can do this. And the reality is that there are new elements of your business that you're going to approach each and every day, but none of us are experts in any of the things. All of us have fears, right? But one of the best things you can do whenever you feel that fear just kind of looming in the back of your head, pull it from behind, look at it straight on. What am I actually afraid of? Okay. I'm afraid of the tech. I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to figure it out. Well, what are you really afraid of? Okay. Like sometimes I tell people, like, follow that fear for just 1 or 2 steps further. I'm scared of the tech of starting a virtual assistant. What are you really afraid of? Right. I'm really afraid of, I'm going to try and I'm going to mess up and I'm going to fail and I'm going to look stupid or I'm going to waste money or whatever, right? Like I'm going to be rejected or like that's my real fear, right? And so look at it and stare it in the face, right? And tell it truth. Okay, the truth of the matter is I'm not going to know all the tech. I am going to make a mistake, but that doesn't mean that I am a failure if I mess up at something. I can find resources. I can find people who know the tech. I can ask questions, especially if you're in a community, right? You can ask other people along the way and I can figure this out. Okay. So sometimes you have to take that fear, look at it, find out what am I actually afraid of here? I'm not afraid of tech. I'm afraid of failing, right? I'm afraid of being a failure. Tell yourself truth. Even if I fail at tech, I am not a failure. And here's all the ways that I can combat that. Okay. So just take that fear, put it in front of you. I also believe that, that if you let fear, see, I'm realizing that number 4 even has a typo, guys. we're not going to do this perfect. Let fear outweigh your motivation. So like, for none of us are going to get this perfect. Okay. We're just going to leave that in here for that reason. We're all going to make mistakes along the way, and that's totally fine. I also think that that's why it's so important to keep our why in front of us, because that why is going to be the motivation even whenever things get difficult. So one little fun experiment that I like to do is to do like these what if scenarios. So I'll do what if scenarios for like the negative things that I have, like the fears that I have. So again, we're taking that fear of like, I'm afraid of the tech. What am I really afraid of? I'm afraid of failure. Okay, face it with truth. Boom, boom, boom. Follow that fear. Like, what if I really fail at tech? Well, I guess if I fail at tech, like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to lose all my clients and then I'm going to like be a total, like I will still have a family that loves, even if this business failed, right? Like worst case scenario, I still have a family that loves me. I still have this. I still am like a good human being. Like, oh, right. Like sometimes just telling yourself that truth. So I like to follow the fear sometimes and like face it with some logic and some truth. But I also like to follow the like what ifs on the good things. Like, what if this business is a success? What if, I really am able to get clients to utilize my services? What's on the other side of that fear? If I can push past it, if I can let my motivation outweigh my fear, what is actually on the other side of that? So I'm going to actually do a little breakdown for you. Okay. And I'm going to do a financial breakdown. Here's the thing, guys. None of your why was probably just like, I want to be so rich. I want to have so much money, right? Because we all know money doesn't buy happiness, but money can be a tool to accomplish your why, to accomplish the life and the lifestyle that you want to have. And so I'm going to talk a second about money, not to just flash numbers at you, but I want, as we're talking about money, for you to think, man, what kind of life could I have? What would my lifestyle look like if I had a remote business that was making this kind of money? Okay. Because I want to let you know what's on the other side of your fear. So let's break it down a second. We were talking about hourly rate. We're going to talk a little bit about packages and pricing tomorrow. But most of the virtual assistants that go through our program start their first beginning rate anywhere between 20, 30, sometimes $35 an hour. Okay. These are general admin skills. These are just starting out. Because remember, you're an independent contractor, and so your rate is what you choose for it to be. So this is what we have most of our VAs start out at. So let's say, maybe you start at 30, you get your second client at 35, you get your third at 37, right? Let's say you're starting somewhere in that like $35 to $40 an hour range. So $30 an hour at 30 hours at $37 an hour would be $1,100 a week, right? That's a $57,000 salary. Not bad for working at home in your pajamas. So let's say you're still having 10 hours. If you were working a full-time job, okay? So if I was doing this full-time, I have those 30 hours, I'm doing hourly, but what if I were to add in a high-end package, okay? So let's say I start doing Facebook ads also, right? And I sell 3 Facebook ad packages at $1,200 a month. Okay, well now I'm looking at an additional $3,600 a month and working about 40 hours a week. Okay, again, that's full-time income. So we're adding $43,000 to your salary. That hourly rate plus your high-end packages is $100,000. Now, some of you guys are looking at that and it's like, okay, Abby, cool. Well, no. And all the fears and all the things start creeping in. I can't charge $35, $37 just starting out. Well, number one, a lot of us can actually, but that's okay. We do this thing called incremental pricing. So maybe you get your first client at 30, your second one at 33, your third one at 35, and your fourth one at 37, right? Within 6 months, you literally could be charging this $37 an hour. And again, I don't know Facebook ads. Okay, we're showing you what could be possible. I don't have 40 hours a week, Abby. Okay, let's look at this number. What if you cut this in half? What if you're only working 20 hours a week, right? On your own time in your pajamas and you're making just half this amount, $50,000 working for yourself. Okay. What's awesome about this is that this is an example of what could happen. But what's so cool is that so many people will take this and then they're like, well, wait a second. If I'm doing 10 hours of Facebook ads, right? I learned this high-end skill and I'm making 43,000. What if I only did Facebook ads, right? And you could see how if you transition to only a high-end service and you eventually get rid of those general admin skills, then hey, I could make more money per hour if I'm doing these higher end skills, which is what so many of our VAs do. They start off as a general admin, they learn a high end skill, and then they become a specialist, right? So, what if I only did that? Well, this doesn't even include a team. Well, wow, what if I do high end services and I'm building a team of people to help me underneath, right? And that's where you can see these VAs that start making 10, 15, $20,000. Students who have gone through our program are making this kind of money because they start off at general admin, they learn a high-end skill, and then they build a team to support them. Okay. So, really, I love to look at numbers, not because it's a guarantee. Nobody's guaranteed any certain amount, right? But I like for you to see what's actually possible. Okay. So, this is healthy growth. I know a lot of people like to take a little screenshot. This is what we love to see happen inside of our program. And this isn't like, oh, every person goes through this process, but this is a really healthy growth track that we see people take. So this could take you 9 months a year. This could take you 18 months, right? But really, if it takes you 1 month, 1 year, or 2 years to get to this point, but you're still getting to these $9,000, $10,000 months, like who cares how long it takes you, right? If you stay committed. So we love to see people, a lot of times students will get their very first client in the first month. They follow one of our PACE plans and they say, I'm going to do the really fast one where I can get marketing right away. And you sign your very first client, right? It might be small. It might be $25 an hour for 10 hours a month. Great. I'm making $250 a month now with this one client. Then your next month, boom, I'm making another, $300, $400. I have 2 clients now. Most VAs, guys, are fully booked with 4 to 7 clients. And so we see people, and that's like a full-time job. We see people be fully booked sometimes within their first month, within their first 60 days or 90 days, because it's not getting hundreds of people to say yes. For you, fully booked might be 3 clients. So rather than getting hundreds of people to say yes, you need 3 people to say yes, right? Maybe 4, depending on your packages. So, and depending on what booked out means to you. Some of you guys have 40 hours. Some of you guys have 20 hours a week. So it really depends what fully booked means to you. But let's say you get those 4 clients and it's like, oh, I literally don't have more time, right? Like I have no more time to give to people. So I guess I can't sign on any more clients. So at that point, a lot of people will start looking for a high-end service. It's like, okay, well, I have these clients. Let me just kind of stick with them a little bit and let me jump into Savvy Vault, right? And start learning a new high-end skill. Let me learn Pinterest management, or let me learn, Facebook ads, or let me learn Amazon store setup, or let me learn how to build Squarespace websites. So you take some time just being fully booked. Maybe you take a month or 2 and just enjoy being booked out, right? Really focus on your clients. And then you introduce this new high-end service. You introduce the high-end service. It's pretty quick that you book out those services usually, because you might not have much more time that you can actually handle yourself. And that's where subcontracting can come in. So whenever you have this high-end repeatable service, it becomes where it's like, oh, well, now I can start to hand off some of these tasks to other people. And if you've done that, guys, literally the sky is the limit to how much you can grow. So hopefully this is helpful for you. Take a screenshot of this if you want, and this can help you when you're forming out your goals of where you want to go and how long you want it to take you. Okay. So that leads us to the next thing. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to take a look. It is January 2022 right now. So you literally can go and download this goals spreadsheet. You can get it at thevirtualsavvy.com/goals. It's not even, you don't even have to put in your email. You literally can just download this PDF right away as we're talking. It's actually a fillable PDF, so you can like fill it in too. Just make sure you save it as you fill it, or you can print it. And so I love for people to do their monthly goals. Okay. And if you want to use this as like a roadmap, hey, I'd love to follow this kind of growth. Maybe you just want to get to the point where you launch your business and you're booked and you start learning a high-end service. Maybe you're like, oh, Abby, this seems too much. Let me cut this in half. Awesome. This could take you 2 years and you'd still be doing really, really, really good, right? So break it apart what it means for you. And there's no like rules. It could be, I want to launch my business. I want to get 1 client. I want to get 2 clients. You could do financially. Hey, by February, I want to be making $1,000 a month. March, I want to be making 3,000, right? But go ahead and break down your monthly goals, because again, we have to have a roadmap. We have to know where we're going. And so whenever I'm totally going to botch this quote. What is it? Like, you miss 100% of the goals you don't make, or that's not it. Anyways, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So like, make a goal, put it in front of you, and then you have a really solid thing. If I say right now, like, hey, hey, Francis, hey, Jenny, hey, Larissa, hey, Shelly, hey, Kim, you're only going to be successful in this business if you make $10,000 a month. Number one, that's not true. But that's like really overwhelming and discouraging, right? It's just like, sometimes we hear like, hey, you could make this much in your business. And we think, I have to do it tomorrow, and it seems so far away that you're like, yeah, no. But if we break it apart and we say, okay, what if this month I just commit to like getting my business set up, right? Like I just want to get my processes in order. And then in February, I want to start marketing. By March, I get my first client. By, April, I get my second client. May, maybe, you've got like some stuff going on. So you're like, I'm just going to take it easy that month. By this, I want to start learning a high-end service. So break it apart, what you actually want it to look like in these 12-month goals. Can you guys do this? This is your challenge for today. So every single day we've been giving you a challenge. So this is what I want for you guys to accomplish today. You can download that goal spreadsheet totally for free. And I love some of you guys are actually even posting your goals. Tiffany says, February, I want to be able to afford my book habit. That's awesome. Oh yeah, Michael Jordan, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Thank you. You guys, you love me. You really love me. You're helping me out here. Okay. So much better than whatever I said. So, okay, guys, here we go. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you exactly how to get there. So I want you to set the goals today, but I don't want you to stress about even how they're going to happen. You're like, yeah, I'm going to get my first client in February. And you're like, I have no idea how that's going to happen. That's okay. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So I just want you to focus today on the goals. Just where do you want to go and how quickly do you want to get there? All right. Because we're going to talk about, that tomorrow. So tomorrow, it's the same time, 12 o'clock Central, same place you've been showing up every day, but it's actually a full-on webinar training. So these trainings have all been like 20, 30 minutes. It's an hour-long training tomorrow. So make sure you carve out a little bit extra time for tomorrow, because we're going to be doing Virtual Assistants, the ultimate crash course. I'm going to be taking you step by step through pricing, through packaging. We're going to talk about marketing, because I know that is one of the top questions that you guys have. And so that's what we're going to be doing during tomorrow's webinar. You guys say, I'm in. If you're going to be there, I want to see each one of you guys there. And I do want to do a reminder before we do a Q&A time that tomorrow, it'll be around the same time as that webinar training. We are going to be opening the doors to the Savvy system. So while we're going to teach you so much in tomorrow's training, guys, there is, if you want a step-by-step roadmap, 112 lessons. We've designed it to be a year-long program, but you get lifetime access, the accountability, the templates, everything you need. That course does launch tomorrow. So you want to be on the wait list at thesavvysystem.com so you know when it opens and you have the coupon code that we'll be sending out tomorrow for it. Okay. Awesome. We're going to do a live Q&A time now. So I'm going to bring my girl Melanie back up. I know you guys have been asking questions in the comments, so we want to be able to answer as many of those questions as we can now. We've got a good 20 minutes or so that we can dive in and do some questions. So let's just dive right in. Melanie, okay. What have we got?
All right. Some really good ones. So somebody says, what is the best way to start handing off your workload to a subcontractor?
So good. So my recommendation is not to, at the very beginning, not to bring on a subcontractor that you're like, I'm going to give you 10 hours a week, and don't make like those big hefty promises, because you're still figuring out your business, right? So I love telling people to get in the habit of outsourcing. So maybe you just outsource one specific project in the beginning. Maybe you're like, hey, I don't really want to build my website myself. So let me just hire someone to build my website. Let me hire someone to do my branding. Let me hire somebody to help with this one-time project. That way you just start getting in the habit of outsourcing. Maybe you're going to meet some people who could eventually be like more secure long-term contractors. But in the beginning, I think one-off projects is one of the best ways to just kind of get into that habit.
Awesome. And Chelsea says, how long on average does it take to complete the Savvy system?
Ooh, such a good question. So again, we've designed it to be about a year-long program. So you get lifetime access. So we literally have people that joined the course back in 2016 that are still jumping in and coming to the live streams or looking at the lessons, still learning, right? But the course is divided up into launch, grow, scale. So it's like business setup, marketing, and then kind of scaling with a team are the three sections. And so it kind of depends how quickly you get through that, right? So some people will do the launch section literally in like a weekend or in 30 days. And we have different pace plans to get you through that launch section really, really quickly. And then the grow section is all about marketing. So some people sell out their services really, really quick. Some people, it takes them some time, right? They're slower on the marketing, and that's okay. And then we find a lot of people, they kind of stop. It's like marketing. There's like, I'm fully booked. And they're like, well, I don't want to take any more course because I just need to like focus on my clients a while. And that's fine. And so that's why we actually give you lifetime access to the course, is because, hey, we understand life happens, your business grows, and sometimes you need to take a little breather. So yeah, I would say for most students, it's, a year and a half is if you were going to go through all the content and actually implement all of it, it would be about a year and a half journey.
Yeah. And coming from a Savvy System student, me going through it myself, I was that person that got booked out by the time I got to the marketing section and had to put a pause on the course until I was ready to start subcontracting. And I really used it as a back pocket resource when I was ready to scale my business in that regard. So I love that it's at your own pace, for sure. Now, Lage says, would you guys be able to do a live where we can send over our portfolios and give live feedback? And
That'd be so fun.
So I'm going to speak to that really quick, because every month we actually have a critique call inside of the Savvy system where where our students submit their portfolios, websites, branding, whatever it is that they're working on. And I go live inside of the Savvy system and give feedback every month. And then after giving feedback, our students get actionable steps on how to improve what they're working on to put their best foot forward in their business. So we actually have the opportunity to do that inside the Savvy system, as well as daily feedback of our students submitting inside of the community too.
Yes, for sure.
Now, Marcanetta says, are there other products that we need to purchase in order to complete the course?
No. So if you end up buying the Savvy system is that step-by-step, everything beginning to end that you need to start your business. So it includes all of the marketing tactics, all of the templates, all of the things. We sell another product called the VA Toolbox, but that is like the contracts that you need. Those are just included in the course. So it's literally like the business in a box that you need. Now, here at the Virtual Savvy, we do sell 2 other products. And so let me tell you the purpose of those, and then you can decide if that's something that you would want later on or right away. So we have something called Savvy Vault, which is tech training. So inside Savvy System, we teach you all the ways to launch, grow, scale your business with the skills you already have. And we also teach you some general admin inside of the course. So that's all that you need to grow your business. And it's literally everything from launching, growing, marketing, scaling, building a team, all of it. Some people choose to get Savvy Vault as well, which is the advanced tech training. So if you're like, man, I really would like to learn how to be a Pinterest manager. I'd love to learn how to be a Facebook ads manager. I'd love to learn how to, really advance my skills in XYZ. You can add on Savvy Vault. So you can do that tomorrow when we open and bundle it together. It's called the Ultimate Savvy System, and it includes both of those. Or you can later on, Savvy Vault is just $47 a month. So some people will just come in, pay for 1 month, do 1 or 2 courses, and then that's all they needed. So that's all they do. So it really depends if you want that extra tech training or not. It's not required. And then we do have a last product, and that is for people who are already making $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month in their business that want to scale to, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 months. To be honest, a lot of it is the content that's in the launch section of our course. So we cover a lot of that, building a team, systems, all of that inside of the Savvy system. But we have found that students, when they get to that $2,000, $3,000 mark, they want like a really intense coaching program, which is what Savvy Circle is. So it's really, Savvy Circle is like that next level of like, I want hyper-focused attention and I want to be around other people making thousands of dollars a month in my business. And that's like a year-long program that people can do, but tons of people don't. Okay. So like Savvy Vault, Savvy Circle, not required. We have people making 10, 20, $30,000 a month even in their business that have never done those other products, right? So it really just kind of depends on you and your needs.
So good, Abby. And so Kaylee wants to know, she says, I'm curious, if VA work is so popular and needed, why do only 20% of businesses succeed?
So I believe that the reason most businesses don't succeed is a lot of what we talked about here today. Businesses can succeed. Now, there are much harder markets, I will say, than virtual assistants. And whenever you hear that stat, it is talking about not only virtual businesses, service-based businesses, it's talking about restaurants, it's talking about mom and pops, it's talking about all these different things. A business not succeeding is generally either the person themselves decides, hey, I don't want to do it anymore. They give up, or because they financially can't go on anymore. Okay. And if you think about businesses, most businesses, okay, are like brick and mortars. They're selling a product, whatever, right? The restaurant business, if you have over 5% profit margins, it's like amazing, right? That means 95% of the money that's coming in your business is going right back out in the building, in your insurance, is employees, the food, right? Like, whew, I will never start a restaurant business because those margins are so thin. Think about virtual assistants. If somebody is paying you $30 an hour, right? $30 an hour coming into your bank account, what is going out as a result, right? Maybe some software, maybe a course that you purchase, right? And so if you're thinking about it in the aspect of like, okay, I could make $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 a month in my business. My expenses, most VA businesses' expenses are going to be under $200 a month. If you're talking about courses and like the like coaching or whatever that you do. Okay. Those profit margins are insane. So do people still give up? Yeah. The answer is, I mean, honestly, some people will give up because they didn't have the things that we talked about. They made the mistakes that we talked about in this video, but most people don't. I mean, I don't know of any VAs who have quit as a result of like the profit margins are too small, which honestly is why I believe most businesses don't succeed. It's just there's not enough profit margin. So that's Abby's 2 cents. That's my TED Talk for today. It's why service-based businesses, in my opinion, are the best businesses to start, is because you're selling a service, right? You don't have those extra cost of goods associated with so many other types of businesses.
I feel like you dropped a mic there, Abby. That was so good. And so Kaylee actually had a follow-up question to that. So in addition to that, do you feel that that could potentially also be because of competition or lack of customers?
So I haven't found that in virtual assistants yet. Virtual assistants is a growing industry, and especially over the last year, 2020, 2021, us and our clients have found an increase in business demand and not a decrease. And I think that that's just because more people did start businesses over the past 2 years, especially virtual businesses. More people got comfortable hiring remotely. So you guys know, I mean, people know what Zoom is now, right? Like it's like, whoa, this isn't just us. And so I think people are just getting more comfortable with the online world. So as of yet, I have not seen this like major, like, oh, we're oversaturated. And here's another reason why I know. I literally went to a networking event. It's the first networking event I've been to in like 2 years. It was wonderful. I went to one the other night. It was only like 13, 14 people, really small event, and introduced myself, say I train people to become virtual assistants. Half of the room said, what's a virtual assistant? Okay. And when we're at a point where there are a room full of not just people, but business owners who still don't know that virtual assistants exists. And when you say it, they go, oh my gosh, I need that, right? I'm telling you, virtual assistants seems like a lot of competition when you go into a group of 50, 80,000 other VAs. You walk into a networking event and people say, I didn't know that this existed. You'll realize there's still a huge market for it.
I 100% agree. And so Mai says, what type of skill should I be charging for $30 an hour?
So many of our VAs start their general admin skills at $30 an hour. And I'm talking like, I'm talking like database management. I'm talking about data entry, scheduling, social media scheduling, starting doing like customer service emails, right? And so there's so many skills that you can do that are just general admin skills that people are willing to pay that $25 to $30 an hour for.
Awesome. And so a couple of people want to know how accountability works inside of the Savvy system. And I'm happy to speak to that one
Yeah.
too. So in addition to our critique call that I mentioned earlier, we also have, so what we have are weekly student development days. And they happen every Wednesday, and the first of which each month is our accountability call, where we alternate times every other month, giving people the opportunity to attend and find accountability, find your next business bestie, find the next, collaborate with other Savvy System students in sort of a personal way inside of Zoom. We also have inside of the Savvy System group, there's accountability every day. We have people posting every day saying, hey, I plan to have these goals done by this week, and we're checking in on them in the community. And, there's so many ways to find accountability. And one of the things we also teach, one of our first lessons in the Savvy System is teaching you how to find accountability and how to get that accountability partner so you have support every step of the way.
Yes, 100%.
Awesome. And so Shelly says, one major concern I have is being from outside of the US. Do clients prefer that you are a US resident?
So, I mean, you're going to find people all across the board. So number one, virtual assistants can be done from anywhere. And that's one of the beauties of virtual assistants, right? And so do we have lots of US based VAs? Yes, that come into our course, but we literally have people from almost every continent now. We actually need to go and check if we've hit every continent at this point. But I know that we have a huge population of VAs in Africa. We have students in the Philippines. We have students in Europe. We have students in Australia, right? So we have people all over the world who take our program and who are successful with it. Now, you are occasionally going to find people who would rather have, sometimes they'll say a US based VA, but a lot of times it's that they want somebody in their current time zone just for communication purposes, which, it's not always the case, but that does occasionally happen, that they want somebody that, hey, if I'm going to email them at noon, that it's not going to be 3 a.m. for them. So that happens on occasion, but honestly, most of the time I tell people you don't advertise your services, and you don't have to explicitly say like, I'm a VA from Africa, right? You don't have to go out and just announce that to the world. So get people in, have conversations, really get into their world, talk about their pain points, talk about how you are the solution to your pain point, and let them fall in love with who you are and what you do. And then once you get into the actual, okay, here's how I work, then let them know, whether you're working with me and I live in the same time zone as you or not, you're going to be able to expect always a 24-hour response time, right? And let them know like, hey, I'm going to be super, super prompt. So somebody else was asking like, is it a barrier to live outside the US? Are you limited to jobs within your own country? And that's absolutely not. When I started my business, I had clients in Europe, in Africa, all over. And, and that wasn't a barrier at all. So I'm thinking, there's a gal named Vidya, and she lives in India, and just absolutely, absolutely killing it in her business. And she's, at a place where people don't normally like a normal daily rate is much, much lower in what most people are making in India. But she decided from the get-go, like, I'm just not going to lower my rate because of where I live. And she has done amazing things. So, the stories are out there, the people are out there. It's just you deciding if that's going to be your story as well.
Awesome. And so while we're on the topic, I know we kind of briefly chatted about it yesterday, but for somebody living outside of the US, how does our legality section cover those that do live outside of the US?
Yeah, for sure. So like I said, the Savvy system, it's 112 lessons, including then on top of that, all of the live streams and all of there's so much content and community. So out of the 112 lessons, there's 2 that are going to be a little bit of a caveat if you don't live in the US. One's legalities and one's taxes. So again, we provide the contracts that you need for your business. Those are contracts made by a US based attorney. And so if you don't live inside the US, you can still use the contracts, but my advice is to go and check with an attorney in your country just to have them read over the contract and make sure that there's nothing missing that you would need to have because you don't live inside the US. The other part would be the taxes section. And of course, we teach the taxes section based off of US based tax law. So there may be some variances where you live. So that is the other section that, and we actually do have some resources inside the course for taxes in other countries, but that would be the other section that you would have to make sure that you're figuring out. But all other, 110 out of 112 lessons, plus all the live streams, all the marketing, all the templates are going to be super relevant to you.
Awesome. And so let's see. Tracy says, going back to yesterday's webinar, planning out your day, how do you know what tasks to do for/in your business when you're just starting out?
So good. So that's the importance. I think this is a good question to end on. Guys, this is the importance of having a step-by-step blueprint, okay? It doesn't have to be my blueprint. It doesn't have to be a course even, but make sure you have a linear, okay, first I need to think of my pricing and packaging. Next, I need to, come up with my business name. I need to make sure my business name is legal. I need to create a portfolio. I need to boom, 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 boom. Have it in a step-by-step linear focus of what I need to do next. So you're not thinking about like subcontracting when you haven't even decided on your rates and packages, right? Like if you just do one thing at a time, you will wake up, it's your time to work on your VA business, bam. The next thing on my checklist, the next module in my course is to do this. That's what my focus is. Okay. So following a step-by-step blueprint will give you that, like, I know exactly what I need to do when I'm working on my business.
So good.
All right. So I know we didn't answer all the questions. Again, we'll do more Q&A tomorrow. You guys have been asking such awesome questions, and I appreciate each and every one of you so much. You guys stayed till the very end. So we're going to do our Be Bold challenge, embarrass ourselves a little bit. But let me just remind you guys, tomorrow, before we jump in and we do our Be Bold challenge, tomorrow's training is going to be so, so good. We're going to answer those questions about pricing and packaging. Those of you guys are asking the questions of like, how do I actually market my business? We're going to talk about that tomorrow as well. Oh, I think there's an ambulance going by. And we're also going to be opening the doors to the Savvy system. So for those of you guys who have been waiting for that, the time is tomorrow. I'm so excited. Thank you again for joining us. Let's do our Be Bold challenge. You ready, Melanie?
Ooh, I think so.
Oh, I think Katie's coming in too. So, all right. So today's dare is a karaoke lyric change. This is going to be good. Oh my gosh, it's Spice Girls. All right.
Dance is back.
What does it say? Abby sings and Melanie dances backup. Are we ready for this? You
Oh
ready,
yeah,
Melanie?
I even have like my leopard print going on. We're all Spice
Yes.
Girls today.
Which one are you? Posh Spice? Is that? I don't know. They all I guess wear leopard
Yeah.
print. All right, Spice
Okay.
Girls. All right, this is gonna be so good. I did not practice this. I promise you. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I wanna really, really, really want to work from home. If you want my services, gotta pay my rates. If you wanna hire me, better make it fast. That doesn't rhyme. Now don't go wasting my precious time. I got the contract together, just sign on the line. If you want to be my client, you've got to pay my rates. Make it last forever. Retainer that never ends. That's it. Do you like that, Katie? Katie's here.
We out.
Oh my gosh, Katie, come on in. Did you write this?
Courtney wrote it, but I think we can all agree that was really good.
This is really good. It's really good. All right, guys.
The brains behind Be Bold.
The 150 people that stayed for that.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. Thank you so much again. Don't forget, tomorrow is our virtual assistants, the ultimate crash course. We're going to be talking about marketing, pricing, packaging. It is jam-packed. So come ready to learn. Same time, same place. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.